Hello, 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 and welcome back. Today I'm going to teach you how to make this lovely squash cat that is shaped like a loaf. And I'm going to show you how to rig him so you can make this. Now this isn't a normal bone rig. This is a special custom rig made with hook modifiers. See all these hooks? We are going to have 6 controls. Tail control, squash control, and the 4 feet controls. And it's gonna look something like this. Let's go. Let's create a new scene. No, don't save. Now, add a cube. Or you can use the default cube, unless you have a hatred for default cube. Subdivide. Now it's going to seem really similar to the last cat we made, if you watch that. So we're going to pull it. We're going to pull it. We're basically making a round cube. Like this, perfect. I'm going to go up here to viewport shading. Basically going to do this one that looks like a wireframe. An X-ray. So what that means I can select through the mesh. I'm going to hit E, click, and drag. Make sure you get the middle when you do your selection. That way it makes it a nice little middle band. So now I'm going to hit A to select all and drag it and put them in the middle. So now we have the long body. Go back to shading. I'm going to go to face selection. We're going to grab these 4 corners, the ones that kind of look like a kite. So grab these, all 4 of these. Hit X. Hit E, click, and drag down. Now hit SZ0 to flatten the feet. Bravo! Now we can go over here to modifiers and add a subdivision surface. Now you can see the nubbins and how they'll look. Perfect. Okay, so if we grab up here and do the same thing, E, click, drag. Here are our ears. SZ0. Now I'm just going to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these. Grab, shift, grab. I'm going to do green. I'm going to hit W. I'm basically I'm making the ears more triangle at the top. So shift click, and we can pull these in. Now I'm going to add all of them together and I'm going to pinch them this way. Perfect. Look at these little ears. I'm going to go back to face select. This face. We're going to go to inset faces. We're going to go up here and hit individual. That way we do them individually. I'm going to hit E, click, and push back with the green. There, we got some ears. Beautiful. Now we're going to go to his bum. Click these 4 faces. Go back to inset faces. But this time turn off individual, because we just want one tail. Let's scoodle it in. It might help to turn off the subdivision, so you can see a little bit of what you're doing. I'm going to go into, I'm going to custom move these to make these a little round. Just a little round. Okay, let's go back. Now for the tail, we are going to need at least like 4 steps. So we're going to do, this is 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, and 4 step. This tail's a little bigger, but that's okay. And I'll tell you why this is so important in a bit. Just fixing the tail a little bit. I'm going to click the base and I'm going to shrink the base. Now if I turn this back on, click, I think we look pretty good. Now what we're going to want to do is add the face before we start doing some of the fancy stuff. So add, I'm going to do a UV sphere, go to modeling, side view, S the scale it down, S the scale it down. I think RX90? Okay, for me it's RX90, but depending on what axis you have like this, it's going to be different. Or you could customly rotate it. So I'm going to duplicate and shift, shrink you a bit, grab this, squish it, rotate a little bit. I'm going to go up here to mirror, just this. There we go. He looks a little derpy. That's okay, we like derpy cats. Something extra funny. Shade smooth. Now it's important that we apply it because we're going to join it to this. You're going to join it. Now we have a solid cat. Now it's time to start preparing for our controls. We are going to need, go to this little green thing, it's like a little green triangle. We're going to need 6 groups. We're going to need front, left, so front dot L. We're going to need front dot right. Come on, let me rename. Front dot R. We're going to need a back dot L. And we're going to need a back dot R. We're going to need tail. And we're going to need squash. Now let's start with squash. Squash is actually the easiest. So if we go up to object mode and we go to weight paint, and we have the right group selected, we can go to this gradient tool, click up here, and drag down. And look at it. So we're going to want the bottom of the feet to be dark blue. 100, red is like full application, full control, and blue, dark blue is 0 control. I'll show you this in a second. So let's go ahead and make a folder collection. No, different outside. Okay. Control. And as we're in this collection, let's add a, I'm going to make it a mesh. And mesh circle. I'm going to hit this little thing so that when we render, if you decide to render, you will not see the control meshes. So I scaled it. I'm going to drag it down to where the feet are. Control A, all transforms. This is going to set the origin back to the center of the world. And that's good. So now let's go back to Squish Cat. So let's add our first control. So hook. We're going to set our object to circle, which I'm just going to rename squash. It's important to name these. And then I'm going to select squash. And this is what we're going to do. Look at our boy! Or girl. It depends. Whatever you want. So that's the first of our controls. Now I'm going to hit Squash Cat and go in edit mode. And I'm going to just grab the control meshes straight from Bobcat. So select the 4 for the tail and select the bottom. Hit Shift D to duplicate and then separate by selection. Oh, not by selection. Actually, go back. Go back. I mean separate by loose parts. My bad. Oh no, it separated the face! That's okay. We'll just, grab all these and we'll just reparent them. Join. Oh, I moved my cursor. Hold on. There. Okay. We're going to want to pull these, and we're going to pull them in the controls. And we're going to name them back L, front L, back R, front R, wait, and that leaves us with tail. We got all the controls now, and now we need to apply the controls. So let's go to Bobcat. So now that we have the main one, squash done, let's go to the next important one. So we're gonna hit tail. And I'll show you why we wanted these 4 layers. So I'm gonna go to X-ray mode so I can make sure I grab. We're gonna apply these top ones, this top row layer, as 100% the tail. I'll click down here, type in 0.75 and assign the tail. Down here, 0.5, assign the tail. And you are now 0.25. If we go out, we grab this, and what are you doing? Oh wait, let me, yes, I forgot. We gotta return these hooks, and delete all these. Your feet, because we pulled them from the mesh, they're gonna have the hook. So you're just gonna wanna, delete all of these. So if you make the controls before you do all, like, the rigging, that's usually best, but I'm going a little bit out of order. And let me just make sure they don't have the hook. It's important. Oh, wrong thing. Okay, now let's try. Oh, derp. It's also important to make sure you actually have the hook set up. So I'm going to set tail and vertex group tail. Now it will work. There we go. As you can see, the tail will work. Now let's work on the feet. The feet. Okay, we're going to want to go back to this. Whoop. Now I'm just going to hide this whole, wrong group. Wrong thing. I'm going to hide the controls for a second. So this is our front leg. 1, 2, 3, 4. Assign full. Click these. 0.5. So we're just basically going to go through this and assign the bottom verts to full control, and then the connecting verts to the body to 0.5. Back right, full, okay, we're good. That's it. So once you get that done for all the feet, we can go back and we can prepare the last 4 hooks. So you're going to want to unhide your controls. Hook. I'm just going to go ahead and grab all. That is not the right amount of butter. Make sure you click the right thing. Okay, I should have 4. Yes, I do. So I'm going to grab front leg, and then I'm going to do front left. I'm going to do front R to front R. Do back L to back L, and back R to back R. And that's why it's good to name things. So you see, now our feet are all good. All of our feet. Now it's not perfect by any means, but it is fabulous either way. So A, Alt G, R. So I do Alt G and R, and it's very good for rigs to return it to your normal state. But you have to make sure if you're doing this for non-bone meshes, the origin, it moves the object's origin to the world origin. So if you need to have an offset, otherwise it would move it back up here, and that will break your foot. So now that we are done with the cat, let's do a quick animation. So for a cat, you're going to want to put on auto key. So the feet need to go in the opposite direction. So if the front goes back, the back goes front. And this one, that goes front, this goes back. Now I'm going to select these. And then select this keyframe and then copy it. I'm going to go paste it at 20. Oop. That's weird. Control C, Control V. You know what, never mind. Let's just go ahead and move to the next frame. So then you're going to want to swap it. You're going to want to move this back. And you're going to want to move this forward. And hit A, and I'm going to try this. Control C. Control V. Okay, that is very confusing. Why it doesn't want to do that? We can just... Oh, wait. It's this foot. It's this foot that's the problem. There's always one foot. And this foot is broken here. Control B. Okay. I'm going to zoom in on my timeline real quick, because I'm going to want to go to the middle phase. Now, which foot is going forward? So, this foot is going to go forward, and this foot's going to go forward. So, I'm going to go to 5, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, like, raise them up a tidbit. So, what I'm going to do is in the next cycle, I'm going to raise it up here, just a tidbit. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is in these, squish it up, and then I'm going to hit Alt G, so that, make sure it's, send it back to where it was, and then I'm going to copy this. Oh gosh, make sure you're, down here, actually I'm going to hit A to select all. I'm going to move this, put that in 0, and this at 19. What you want to do for a looping animation is to cut like right before your last frame, and you want to make sure your last frame is the exact same as your first frame. Now, for the last bit, so we're going to want him to move here, C, Control V, and then we're going to want to switch it to the other side. And there we go! It's beautiful, isn't it? Now your cat is done. You can hide your, don't hide the cat, hide your controls. And you got this little bouncy stuff. Excuse me. You got this little bouncy cat that you can fine tune. This cat has a little too much bounce, but that's okay. Thank you for watching this very bad Blender tutorial on a rigged cat with feet. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment. I want to know how I'm doing. Okay, bye!